Good morning, everyone. This is Teresa Marsh. I'm Teresa Marsh from Sassy Stamping with Teresa.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Eastern North Carolina. I thank you so much for so many of you who have gotten in touch with me to see if all was well here. Um, Here in the eastern part of North Carolina, we're doing quite well. And, uh, in spite of the things that have been happening with Hurricane Helene in the western part of the state. The western part of the state is quite hard hit, so we want to be careful. We want to be sure to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. There's so much that they've got going on right now, and I can guarantee you that the people that I know in western North Carolina are not watching right now because they have no power. They have no they have no power. They have no um, what would they can't watch. They've got no internet. They've got no power. They've got nothing. So let me take a look here and see if I am live where I think I need to be. There we go. I am. So it's a wonderful morning here in Eastern North Carolina. We're enjoying very good weather right now. It's not even going to get up to, not supposed to even get up to 70 degrees. So I'm honoring the almost fall with a sweatshirt. I love it. I love sweatshirts. Always comfortable. Always comfortable. Okay. Today we're going to be working with, oh, wait a minute. Today is the 10th of October. So today is the last day. Today's the last day to sign up for the October paper pumpkin. That's going to be that if you're a brand new paper pumpkin subscriber, you can get for 40% off. So do consider, if you have been thinking of paper pumpkin and hadn't gotten into it yet, to go ahead and subscribe today. You will get a very, very good deal. The October kit coordinates with the Nests of Winter Sweet Collection, which I haven't shown you that much of yet. So, but it's a very nice set. Okay, and you can get the Mary Tags and More Dies add-on if you're a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin. Okay, let me put that aside. I forget the housekeeping things. This is what we're working with today. We are working with, let me do it this way, the Wildly Flowering Sweet Collection. Now, when I'm online with this camera, I can't go closer and further away. So I have to hold these things up. But we're going to be using Wildly Flowering Designs. We're going to use we're going to use one of these, and we're going to use a stamp on the inside. I didn't think to get the embossing folder out to use that this morning, but that's okay. We are going to be using the dies in a unique way. The paper that we're using today is this print right here. It's got white, wild wheat, and misty moonlight are the main colors you'll find on that page, on that sheet. So now, let me put this out of the way. What I have done, I've done a little bit of prep work here. So we have an 8.5 by 5.25, scored at 4.25. Excuse me, 5.5, scored at 4.25. So that's our basic, our standard, if you will, card base. I'm thinking of, generally speaking, going on an ongoing basis with just the white card base, because if I want to add color, I can use some of my colored cardstock, but it only takes a quarter sheet to cover the front. Let me show you what I mean. Let me take this. I'm going to use a layer of Misty Moonlight on top of this white to cover the whole card front. Okay, well, it looks like it's slightly off. But anyway, I'm going to cover the whole card front. Obviously, I need to make a little bit of an adjustment there. But that's the idea. And one of the paper saving tricks I'm going to show you this morning is I want to use a frame out of the die set. So you can, since you're going to cover this up with designer series paper, you can cut that frame. You can die cut that frame right out of the middle of that because all you want is the outer edge to show. Through the magic of television, I've already got one cut, so we're not going to do that right now. Then, so that's going to be my new base, if you will, color card. I'm going to create a card front. Then it's going to have a layer of basic white that's just a smidgen smaller. It's an 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay. So this one's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or it's supposed to be. Evidently, it's a slight bit smaller. So this one would be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to cut my sentiment out of that. And through the magic of television, there we go. It's already gone. I know. That's cheating, isn't it? Then we have our 4 by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper that's going to layer there. So that's going to be the basics of our front. So let's get on with things here. Let me see if this really is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I might have to recut that. It is a smidgen little. It's a smidgen short, so I might have to recut that. Hold on a second. That'll be good for cutting some other stuff. But let's get this, because I really want to get good coverage on the front of my card. I want to use a white card base. For both aesthetic reasons and economic reasons. So I might want a full card base later. So I'm going to cut this right at 5 1/2. And off to the side goes that extra piece. And I'm going to cut this right at 4 1/4. There we go. Now let's see if I did that a little bit better this time. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, much better coverage. I don't know what I did. I must have hiccuped when I was running the paper trimmer. Alrighty. So we've taken care of the dies off camera. There's the base, the actual base. So let's do some prepping here. I'm just going to use. I'm going to do it the safe way. I'm going to use glue. Why do I say safe way? Because this is just a little bitty bit of this is going to show. And if I don't, I mean, it's going to allow just a little bitty bit of the Misty Moonlight to show. And so if I don't get it exactly right the first time, I've got some wiggle room. There we go. There we go. Are you like me? Does it bother you when you look at that and it's off center? You got to cover it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But something about just something about the way that it works. Hold on a second. I'm live online right now. Can I call you back? I'll have him call as soon as I can get hold of him. What's the matter? Okay, I will let Mike know. I will let Mike know. Hold on. I will tell him to give you a buzz, okay? Okay, bye. Ladies and gents, I'm gonna have to take some time out. Just hold on just a minute. Call for wireless caller. Okay. Let's see if I can get this out to. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can get this out to my other half. We have a friend who has recently had surgery and isn't moving around too well. So there we go. He went running errands and I forgot to tell him. I forgot I was talking to her. Okay. All right. Back. I'm back. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll be able to get that piece out. But anyway, in the meantime, we are here. There's that piece glued on. Then we're going to glue this piece on. This is the designer series paper. Like I said, it's cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. And I cut it on the horizontal because that's how I'm building this card. That it's going to be in the landscape orientation. Okay. Now I already had, you can't really see it on that, but you can if I put that in the middle. I already had a border. I'm not so sure I like that border on there. Maybe I should put a white border. Well, I missed my opportunity. I just glued my white paper. I guess I have to use another piece of white paper. Let's see. Here's a piece. Is it wide enough for this? I think so. Whoops, sorry. Yep. I think I will use a white border. That will look much better instead of the blue one. So I'm going to have to move my paper pad here so that my stamping cutting and my mini stamping cutting emboss machine will not slide all over the place. There's not a law that says that the first way you imagine something is the way you have to do it. So, all right, here we go. Let's do it. I think this will be good because then there will be the blue showing through between the sentiment and the card front and the border. I mean, and of course that will give me an inner portion if I ever want to use it for something else. So that'll be over there. Okay, put my Post-it tape over there. You ever use that? Have you ever seen that? Where is it up here? Here it is. Some people use Post-it notes. I use Post-it tape. I love this stuff for doing board. Good morning, Vicki. Yeah, I love this stuff for doing for you for holding on to the dies when I need them. Let me get that. There you go. Get that glare off of there. And our everything tool. I really do think of this as my everything tool. I use it for everything. Sometimes I use it for things I shouldn't. Things it wasn't designed to do. But okay. Hold on just a second, everybody. Mikey?
Yeah.
Becky needs you ASAP.
Who does?
Becky.
Becky? Yeah.
Yes, I'm online.
She needs me over there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'll tell her on the way.
Okay. I sent you a text.
And nothing, but it did not.
It might not have gone through.
I should have turned left it there. I'll turn this on now. It's my bad.
Okay. Okay. Folks, let me send a quick note to I apologize. Okay. Sorry. So let's take our piece here. And again, I'm going to use glue so that I have wiggle time. Tape, I like tape. I like the tape approach better in a lot of ways. But if I'm going to try to put this on there so that it's exactly right and covers the card base, I need to have adjustment time just in case. There we go. All right. Now, this I'm going to put frame. Should I put the frame and then I'm going to stamp a sentiment on that? Should I put I think I'll put them both on dimensionals. But anyway, we'll see that in a minute. What I wanted to stamp here is you've been on my mind. I've got a lot of folks in my life who are going through different things. Yeah, I see. Yeah, painter's tape works if you've got a hold of that too. I've got folks in my life who've been going through a lot of different things, and you can only say the initial thing, the get well or I'm sorry for your loss, once or twice before it gets really old. So there's a lot of folks I want to do ongoing follow up with. So I want to just tell them you've been on my mind, and then write them a note. It gives me the opportunity to stay connected, and yet still have. I better wipe that edge off, or I'll end up with it on me. Anyway, it gives you a chance to stay connected without constantly sending the same message, so to speak. Okay, you've been on my mind. That's I put that there in Misty Moonlight because that's the accent color we're using today. Whoops, I'm going to need that again because I really want to put. I think I'm going to put I have 3 different options for a floral. Which shall I do? I could just do texture, which is just these little stipples. But I'm thinking this right here, it's the airiest and the least obtrusive. So I think I'm going to put that as my accent stamp on the inside. That's this one. This one right here. And what I will do, pick up some. Maybe I want to stamp this off. And then put it over here. Oh, I like that. Subtle. Much more subtle. I like that. I'm glad I stamped that off. I'm glad I stamped that off. This is the kind of card that I would just put a note inside rather than, or I might just put a note inside instead of the, instead of a stamp. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, do you see this? This is my skeleton, if you will, of a Stampin' Dimensional pad. 3 of those, 3 there, and then let's just do some there. First, let's see if this bit will fit on. It won't, so I'll use it on the back of my, I'll use it on something else. Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3. I want you to notice how that fits right in the scallops. Okay. They're not all cut exactly the same way, so I can't promise it will always fit right in the scallops. Let's see, this one looks like the same size. Let's do 2. And 2. I'm going to put them on carefully because I don't want them to show. But see, that's such a cool fit. That's so neat. It's just beautifully like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use this big piece. This big piece that didn't work on the other. And a couple of full-size Stampin' Dimensionals, a couple other full-size Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, here comes the difficult part. I think it will be easier if I put the actual sentiment on first, because getting the two of them centered on one another might be a challenge. If I'm going to mess up and miss my centering, I would rather at least the two pieces of the sentiment at least be aligned well. Okay. There. I think. There we go. All right. Now, let's cross our fingers and hope that this one goes on quite easily. We really had it was such a neat thing this morning when that phone call came in. It's such a God thing. That phone call came in. I need your husband. I need your help. And he wasn't here. And he wasn't expected to come straight home, but he did. Hello. Oh, I like that. That worked so well. That is pretty. That is pretty. I like that. Now, I know that we have some rhinestones. I know I have let's see. It's a tinsel, one of the tinsel gems. Okay, we're going to do this. Tinsel gems, they're in the annual catalog. Right. And I have some Misty Moonlight right there. That will go beautifully on here. You've been on my mind. We're going to go with a large one here and a couple of small ones over on this side. Is that enough? Is that enough glitter? What do you think? Is that enough glitter? I might do this with, I might send this to a fellow, so maybe another couple of small ones in another spot that's there we go. I like that. I like that. That's nice. Okay, you've been on my mind. And on the inside, we have this that's not not the same flower, but it the same idea. I like that. I'm so glad we stamped off that one piece. Okay, ladies, gents, everyone, thank you for joining me this morning. As you can see, things are hopping over here at the Marsh household. As usual, if there's anything I can do for you, if anything that you need, then let me know. You can email me at Teresa at sassystampingwiththeresa.com. I'll be glad to help you out if there's anything I can do. And again, today we used the Wildflower Sweet collection, the Wildly Flowering Sweet collection. But the main thing, the two main items in that collection that we used were the designer series paper and the stamp and die bundle. All right. Once again, I do not have things up to date in my blog, but I will do my best today to get it in there. But in the meantime, if there's anything that you need, Stampin' Up wise, or if you need somebody to pray with you or for you, feel free to drop me a line, and I will be glad to do everything I can to help you. We are going to be having a prayer gathering at my church on the 21st to pray for the elections, and I want to encourage each of you to pray for the elections as well. Not necessarily for this one or that one to win, but I really think we need to be praying that the elections go smoothly before, during, and after, that regardless of the things that we may be seeing or um, wanting to see, regardless of how the elections come out, that we would be civil with one another, that we would be encouraging of one another, and that we would honor the process. And in the same way, at the same time, we get to honor God. So let's do what we can to to listen to what we believe God's telling us to do regarding voting in the election. I encourage you to vote. Um, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and I really believe we have to influence our culture. That's what we're doing here at Stampin' Up. We're influencing our culture in a positive way. That's what I'm doing here as a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Um, it's it's an opportunity to make the world a kinder place, as one of my friends, my online friends, will say. And I think that is a wonderful thing for us to do. Encourage one another, lift one another up, and pray for one another as needs arise. So let me know if a need arises, and I will be glad to come together with you in prayer. Drop me a note if you need anything. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next week.